Here is an Eskimo box fan. This is the Eskimo model 121050B, Manning-Bowman Division, McGraw Edison Company. 115 volts, 60 hertz, AC only, and it's rated to pull 1 singular plural amps. It's a 3-speed model. Looks like there would have been some kind of a sticker there. This is a 12-inch unit, 12-inch blade. The cage is about 14.5 inches across. This is a really neat little fan. Very excited about this one because I haven't found any older fans in quite a while. A lot of stuff from the 90s has been surfacing recently. That Bionaire thing showed up, that Lakewood oscillator showed up, and then one of the Lakewood 12-inch showed up not too long ago. That's a little bit older than the 90s. But it's been a while since I found something from this era. This is probably 50, 60 years old, somewhere in that range. And it's in absolutely fantastic condition. It looks like it's very low hours. The handle is plastic and that's still in contact. No problems there. The guard is pretty much flawless aside from some paint chipping off around the edges. The cabinet's a very nice, classic pale yellow with very few flaws in it. It's really quite remarkable. Look at that, it's almost perfect. It's very clean on the inside. It's got awesome industrial styling to it. It's kind of incredible to think that this was typical back in the day. This probably was a economy model. This wasn't anything extraordinary. It's just how everything was. Everything was built correctly. Far cry from the stuff you get today. The back looks a lot like the bigger 20-inch models, which is pretty cool. The motor, of course, has the oil ports, so it's easily serviced. Nice riveted blade set. I always liked how some of these blades kind of wrapped around the motor like that. It's a non-polarized plug, of course. Pretty thin wire, but it's still in good condition. There's no cracking or anything. It's still very flexible. So no reason to replace that. Probably put a couple drops of oil on this thing and it'll be good to go. Even the feet are still there. They're hard plastic though, they're not rubber. I got this from the Digitan Goodwill for all of $4.99, and then whatever the shipping was. I've been using that site a lot recently because there's been no tag sales in this part of the world. I don't know what happened. There was starting to be a few previous summer, and then this summer there was nothing. And of course there's none now because it's winter, but there was pretty much nothing all summer. And that's usually my primary source of fans because it's usually affordable there. The Goodwills, the Fizitan ones, have been producing absolutely nothing. Other than, actually, then I shouldn't say that. They produce the SMC pedestal fan. Other than that, there's been pretty much nothing there. There's been a couple of like Eskimo 3733s and stuff like that, which isn't worth getting, you know, newer stuff. But they haven't been really producing much at the Goodwills. And the Habitat's been a bust too. There's only that one time that they had all those new in-box ceiling fans. That's been it. There's nothing else to speak of showing up there. So I've been using the Digitan Goodwill a lot because the prices are usually pretty cheap on there. You know, you may get one or two bids on the auctions and that's it. So a lot of times you get stuff like this that stays in the single digits, and they charge a couple beans for handling, and then the shipping, they keep the shipping very affordable. I don't know how they do it, but this I think shipped for 18-20 bucks, nothing major. So you know, even shipping this, you're still staying under 30, which is really a good deal, especially something like this, because this will last 50 years. You know, it's a good investment. Anyways, so yeah, this is really cool, really neat piece. Let's go ahead and plug this thing up. I gotta plug the power bar in. I replaced the kilowatt meter with the non-flaky one, so the readings are to be trusted now. It's showing us 120.4 volts, so we're kind of on the low side right now. Plug this thing in, and let's see what this does. This was advertised as working, so it probably works. I'm just not sure how well it's going to work. I doubt those bearings have been oiled in decades, if ever, since it left the factory. We'll start off on the low. That's a nice quiet low. Kind of sounds like the blade is a little bit loose though. I don't see why the bearings would be that rooted already with hardly any use on it. Although I will say that the McGraw Edison stuff was not really good quality as far as bearings are concerned. And especially on the metal blade models, and they weren't in perfect balance. It tore them bearings up over the years. Those fans notoriously did not have good bearings. So this is already pulling 0.57 amps. And now we're seeing the inefficiency of the shaded pole motor. Watts is 46 and the power factor is 0.66. I don't know what that is. I can't tell if that's the bearing or the blade being loose. I don't really want to. Gee, that sounds terrible. I don't want to run it up any faster if the blade is falling off. No, I just noticed it goes counterclockwise. Say, Lamont, you're going to like this one. It's another counterclockwise model. Let's take the guard off real quick and just make sure the blade isn't loose on the shaft. Of course, you don't want to run it like that if that's the bearings. You know, I'll just run it for a few minutes to check it. Look at how easy it is to open it up and clean it. Huh. Well, the blade, there's definitely play there. I don't think it's the blade though, probably the daggone bearings. Listen to all that play. I can't tell if it's the bearings or the blade. And the blade's not going to come off, it's on there pretty good, so we'll finish the testing, but geez. Well, hopefully some oil will quiet that down a bit. Oiling and some balancing. It's too bad that McGraw Edison did not use better bearings. I have a 20-inch model and the shaft is like, that's probably the worst case I've ever seen. The shaft is like visibly worn and the wear is so bad the rotor collides with the stator. This one's not looking like it's in much better condition. A piece of plastic that's finna go into the motor. Let's take that out of there. Alright, let's go to the medium now and see what kind of noises we get out of the medium. It's running pretty fast. And that's 0.74 amps, 62 watts, and a power factor of 69. Oh wow, it's in really good balance. It's not really vibrating at all. I'm surprised it's having that issue then. It's in almost perfect balance. It's not, you can see it's not shaking at all. I don't know why it's so daggone loud then. Well, let's go to the high. Can't imagine it gets much faster than this. That's 1.16 amps, 94 watts, and a 0.67 power factor. So it's a hair over what it's supposed to draw, but bear in mind that this was made in 115 volt era. We're in 120 volts, so it's going to draw a little bit more. It's running with more power than it was designed to. Even on high, the balance is very good. The blade itself looks like it's pretty good too. Doesn't look like it's really out of clock. This is good air. Although I have to say, if it had a Venturi, it probably would move several times more air, because you can hear the aerodynamics aren't quite right. It sounds kind of choked. That's probably from the air going in the corners. Yep, it is. Almost an inch there is air going in. The performance increase on this had it a Venturi would be incredible. The outer bearings is very dry. Okay, well, it runs, and the blade is very balanced, so I don't know why the thing is so noisy. I'll have to open the motor up and take a look. Maybe the thruster washer is dried out or something. Probably can fix it.